What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. So a few days ago, Path actually left his final words for this season, you know, like what needs to be changed and what should improve for the next update. So a lot of people have mixed opinions, and honestly, for the most part, I actually agree with most of them. So Pat's words do carry a lot of weight since he's pretty much the one that actually studies all these weapons like closely, you know. He gets like the rounds per minute, he gets the reload speed, the ADS time of every gun. So yeah, this guy is very, very credible. And he knows these guns inside and out mathematically and scientifically. So when he first made his community post on YouTube, I wasn't really expecting a lot of people to agree, especially the sniper part, because that is probably the most looked at portion of his notes. And like, I know a lot of people still have mixed feelings about the snipers. A lot of people believe that they should be nerfed, which is like pretty much the vast majority at this point. And there are some people that will pretty much, let's be honest, that pretty much main snipers 24/7 are the ones that's saying, no, snipers should not be nerfed. He also went on to say that, you know, other weapons do need changes as well, especially when it comes to LMGs and ARs, especially SMGs. So yeah, he left a pretty sizable message on his community post. And these were just honestly his opinions. And I honestly agree with all of them, because as of right now, like, the balance of this game just seems to favor snipers more than anything. The only auto weapon that's in the meta currently is just the Man of War, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is just made of snipers, and you guys have seen it when it comes to ranked gameplay. You know, if you play on Search and Destroy, or if you play on like pretty much any objective game mode, it's pretty much going to be overrun by snipers. It could be the Outlaw, the Locust, or the DLQ, it doesn't matter. And that is the problem here. A lot of people are not seeing the fact that these weapons are indeed overpowered, which is honestly the most irritating thing right now. I don't understand how people cannot see that these weapons need to be toned down. It just doesn't make any sense. And look, I understand that you guys would argue that I don't play ranked, well, obviously because I can't find anyone, and plus the exploit doesn't work anymore. But, you know, like, it doesn't matter. Like, in public matches, it's the same way. If you play on Search and Destroy, or if you play on, like, even like Shipment 24/7, you could see it there. People use snipers all the time. It's insane. If snipers were so hard to use and it took skill, why are people from lower levels quickscoping like they've done it for years, right? It just there's no logic to it. This is what Path had to say. Snipers need nerfs. There's basically no point of using ARs in competitive to watch lanes. If you can just snipe, especially in Search and Destroy, I said this a long time ago and got into 1v1000 gunfights in the comments section below. Look where we are at now. You can disagree with me on this all you want, but pros are legitimately suffering because of this. Look, I do have to agree with them there, but it's not just the pros that are actually suffering with this. It's just people with experience like that casually play this game constantly, either on ranked or in public matches. It doesn't matter, like I said, where you are. There's no reason why a lower skilled player should be dominating the entire game, especially if they're going against a full team of like experienced players that have been playing Call of Duty for years. It just doesn't make any sense. That's how snipers are easy to use. It's so bad to the point where literally people that have like the best skills in the world are actually having trouble combating this issue. When it came to the assault rifles, this is what Path had to say. 4-shot ARs should deal higher damage but same shots to kill. This will reduce the DPS gap between weapons in BR and be much faster in terms of handling compared to 3-shot ARs. Range boosting and mobility boosting on 4-shot ARs should be more effective and less punishing. I do have to say there, he is not wrong, because I mean, you know, that's pretty much the reason why the Man of War is superior to pretty much every weapon right now. Yes, it may have some recoil, but I mean the ADS speed for that weapon is insane. You know, compare it to like the KN-44 or the AK-47. Like, those weapons kill in more shots, but yet they feel heavier than the Man of War. That should not be a thing. I feel like weapons that are a lot stronger should be a little bit more heavier, while, you know, having a 4-shot to like 5-shot weapon should be a little bit lighter, but it feels like most of the guns pretty much weigh the exact same thing. And that's one of the common issues with having a gunsmith in Call of Duty. You know, if you ever want to have your gun to be like very powerful or have a little bit of extra range, you're going to have to sacrifice more movement than you probably should be. I feel like that's kind of why Modern Warfare kind of failed, but when it came to Cold War, it was a lot more balanced because, you know, using different grip tapes like the Serpent tape or the drop shot tape didn't really have any downsides to them. If anything, they provided more upsides. But in Modern Warfare, you know, if you put like a granulated grip tape or rubberized, it's going to slow your gun down, which makes literally no sense. A grip tape does not like actually weigh anything. You know, the same thing goes for the red dot sights. You know, you add one at that thing, it's like adding a cinder block to your weapon. It just doesn't make any sense. He also went on to say that SMGs should be much faster in terms of handling and mobility and deal higher damage to overcome negative damage multipliers at close and medium ranges. Headshot damage on full auto weapons needs to be higher overall, make it a 1.3 base. If I can hit someone 2 or 3 times in the head consecutively, regardless of the weapon, I should be rewarded. LMGs needs faster ADS speed, better damage range, and better mobility. Dead silence should reduce footstep audio when sprinting, not completely silent. Agile needs a buff. I still don't know what it does to sprint to ADS because it doesn't change anything at 60 frames per second. I'm not really upset over the current meta. It's still better than Akimbo Fennec and HVK Large Cal. Just disappointed that we could have gotten a meta of better quality. After all, I'm not gonna be the one to abuse meta or whatever, but I can guarantee, I can't guarantee the community will do the same as me. So I can pretty much agree with everything that he said in those last parts of his notes. And I do agree, the SMGs do need to have faster speeds because as of right now, they feel like assault rifles. Especially here with the Razorback with rapid fire, monolithic, and even the marksman barrel, it feels like it's way too slow. I feel like I'm holding the Man of War or something, except that it just shoots faster. Yeah, so like the SMGs definitely do need some sort of speed buff, especially when it comes to close quarters combat. When it comes to the LMGs though, that's a different story. So the LMGs are pretty much terrible overall, with the exception of the chopper. I think the chopper is pretty much the only reliable LMG there. You know, the UL 736, the S36, they all do need to have some sort of buff when it comes to the range and mobility because they are way too slow. And honestly, another complaint that I have with them is that they all pretty much jump way too high. I mean, they have so much recoil for weapons that are so slow and barely do any damage. I also agree with the fact that I think the multiplier for the headshot should be at least toned up a little bit. I mean, not too much to the point where like it instantly kills you and like pretty much any noob could just aim for the head once and kill you. Not like how it was in Modern Warfare, but I mean, it does need to be toned up a little bit because I mean, even if you shoot in the head like 4 times, you're still barely gonna get the kill. I feel like you don't really get rewarded that highly for shooting in the head for having good aim. So Path also had this to say. This was actually at the very beginning of the post. He basically said that he wishes that there was some sort of consultant team that can talk to YouTubers and pro players that could help determine, you know, game balancing stuff. And that's something I'm kind of on the fence with because I don't think that's really a good idea. Maybe for the pro players it is, but when it comes to influencers like Bobby Plays and Godsley and all those other people, I don't really think that's a good idea because, like, if you think about it, they're the ones that actually recommend these weapons in the first place. You know, when it came to the ASM-10, no one really used it until they mentioned it, and now everyone was using it to the point where you felt like you had no choice but to use those weapons as well. I mean, look at the snipers, for example. If they never talked about it, maybe this wouldn't be such a huge problem. But who knows? I could be wrong, but if they were to be part of that team of making balanced choices, they are pretty much immediately going to know which weapons are the best and which ones are not. So in turn, they can make videos about it, and then we're just basically back at square one. So yeah, like I said, it's not really a great idea to have a consultant team, especially with influencers and pro players. But like I said, maybe pro players, but not influencers, especially when it comes to Bobby Plays or like anyone else that's like major in the, you know, in the COD mobile community. Because like I said, they're gonna know which ones are the best, and then they're going to use that, and then like it's just going to become a huge problem again. Everyone's going to start using that one weapon that they recommend, and that's why I can't trust influencers because honestly, I know they're not developers. I understand that, but they are part of the reason why the meta becomes extremely unbearable because everyone starts focusing on that one weapon, which like is so dominant to the point where you have to use it in order to succeed. And look, I know a lot of you guys idolize them, and I understand that. They're trying to make money, they're trying to support themselves and their families. But if we're talking about the well-being of Call of Duty Mobile, I think it's not a good idea to have them be part of this balancing team, because if they are, like, they're just gonna do the same thing as they always do. They're always gonna recommend the next best item, which of course messes up the meta even more. So yeah, I think it's just best to leave this to the developers. If we talk about it, like, we just have to hope for the best, honestly. Because I like I said, I don't trust them. I don't trust the influencers on this. Look, I'm not saying this out of spite to spite, you know, Ferg or Bobby or anyone like that. But, like, you have to look at it from, like, an outside perspective. Look, no one really cared about using snipers as often until now. And do you know why? Because they made videos about them. If it wasn't for their fucking influence, we probably would not be in this mess right now. I'm saying probably because I'm not too sure. But you guys get the point. They carry a lot of weight with their words. A lot of kids follow them. A lot of people want to mimic what they do. And that's how the meta gets messed up. It's the same with the console versions of Call of Duty when it comes to Modern Warfare. You know, let's say, for example, Korean Savage. He makes a video about the M4. Everyone wants to use the M4 now. They have a lot of influence when it comes to this type of stuff. So that's why I just don't trust them. This is partly the reason why I just don't like making class setup videos, because what if one of them ends up becoming like really good and everyone starts like mimicking it and it ends up becoming a problem. I don't want to be responsible for that. And like I just hate that shit that iFerg does when like he recommends a weapon and then at the end of the season he's just like, oh, how did it get like this? You know, he did that with the double Phoenix. I remember that because like he was in a lobby, I think, yeah, he was in a lobby full of them. And like he literally asks, he looks at the camera, he just says, oh, how did it get like this? And I'm just like, dude, you're the one that fucking recommended it to everyone. Like, what the hell did you think was gonna happen? So I think what would be a pretty good idea is if, like, you know, for season 2 I think we should just like shut up and just let everyone discover what weapons they want to use for themselves instead of just giving them the answer like on YouTube all the fucking time. I would really like to see that. I want to see how bad the variety would be if we don't actually make any video class setups about anything. Like if we just kept our mouths shut for the entire month and a half. So yeah, this is pretty much just my opinion on this whole PATH situation, or like this whole PATH post thing. And really, like, yeah, all these changes do need to be made. Like, especially with the snipers. As of right now, they're pretty much taking over this game completely. I mean, they're unbearable to deal with. It gets so frustrating just constantly dying to them, especially if you're dying to someone that really doesn't have any sort of fucking skill at all, or like has some, but you know, not as much as you do. It's like, it's just annoying to deal with, man. Like, it doesn't matter what you say. This is something that the vast majority are like on an agreement with. Like, it has to be done. And like I said, I'm sure it won't be no big deal if it does get nerfed. Like, even if they nerf it just a small bit, I will be happy. That's all I want, man. To make it more fair, because a sniper rifle should not be beating an SMG in close range or have even faster ADS time. It's just it just isn't fair. But anyways, this is gonna conclude this video. I hope you guys like it. Make sure to subscribe for some more COD mobile content. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.